Would not trade
We're
for all
live.
the tea in China.
All
But
right. Well, we are live and welcome to the Margaret McLean Show. Today we'll be discussing the serious allegations against David Burke, a rising star in the music industry. And as a former prosecutor, I'll translate what's going on behind the scenes and what's coming up next. So I'm very lucky to be joined today by Dr. Roger Rhoades, a leading expert in psychology and criminal behavior, to provide insight into the disturbing allegations raised in the criminal complaint. And we'll be discussing some of Burke's disturbing lyrics and his videos. Now, Dr. Rhoades has many years of experience in his field. He appeared many times with Oprah Winfrey and Montel Williams. So I'm thinking that I'm 1 degree of separation from Oprah right now. So I'm thinking, wow, I've really stepped into the limelight. Well, Dr. Rhoades, welcome to the show.
thank you. And let me help you. This is the same as Oprah, just a different stage.
Yeah, well, quite a different stage, but maybe you
Yeah,
never
but
know.
I was just amazed when I showed up on Oprah. I just realized, oh, yeah, this is just a different stage, you know.
There you go. There you
But
go.
she just shows up and gets it done, and that's how she does the show. So you're just like her, but you're not her.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she is amazing. So I always looked up to Oprah and
Yeah.
Montel Williams. That's really cool too, and
Oh, yeah.
many other shows as well. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah. I've been very
very
blessed to be on a multitude of shows. At one time, I was the staff therapist for Jenny Jones
Oh my gosh,
when they
that's
had the guests that shot the other guests.
oh yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
they hired me after that to help.
They needed a lot of help after that. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it was tough.
Gosh. So in this case, first, I'm going to provide all of you out there with a background on this case, what's happening in court, and what's coming up next. So make sure you press the subscribe button and notifications because I'll be following this case to the bitter end. And I always forget that little line, Roger, so I have to add it in because, it's nice to have people listening and subscribing and commenting. Now, I'm going to start with the victim. As a former prosecutor, that's what I do. I start with the victims. And it's so sad. The dismembered and mutilated body of 24-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was discovered last September inside a cadaver bag stuffed in the front trunk of a Tesla. The car had been towed from a Hollywood Hills neighborhood where it had actually been abandoned for weeks before it was towed to an impoundment lot. Now, employees noticed a foul odor coming from the car, and then they called the police. So I have to throw on my glasses here because I want to put up a quick picture of this beautiful young woman who was only, now I'm going to switch us here a little bit so she's not covering us. 1 second, and bear with me. Let's see. So, no, that's not it. That's not it. I found it.
There we
That's
go.
button I was
There we
looking for.
go.
So
That's
what
how
a
it's done.
beautiful. There we go. That's
Yeah.
how it's done. Not perfect, but we get it done here on the Margaret McLean Show. So, now, beautiful young woman. She's only four. She was actually, before she died, she was actually, it was almost her 15th birthday,
Wow.
which is so sad. So basically 14 going on 15. The autopsy report was recently released. Actually, it was released only yesterday, and it revealed that Celeste's body had been mutilated and she died of multiple penetrating injuries. And Celeste had been reported missing by her family in, it was April of 2025. And get this one, her parents said she had a boyfriend named David. Why is that significant? Because police discovered that the Tesla containing her body was registered to David Burke, who goes by the name, it's D4vd. And if you look, the 4 kind of looks like an A, so it's David. And it's pronounced David. It appears to me, who is this guy, David Burke? So he was born in New York and then moved, and it appears to me he had a decent upbringing. His dad works in a thriving criminal defense law firm. And, I'm not sure what his mom does, but he grew up listening to gospel music. So he seemed to have a very loving family. Now, David Burke hit it big very quickly in the music industry. He composed music for himself and friends while playing Fortnite. He also had a beautiful voice, and he realized that people liked his music, so he released more and achieved pretty much what I'd call instant fame. He was invited to play in big music festivals. Let's get a picture of him up. Here, we'll take beautiful Celeste down. And actually, this is a picture of David. So David, he hits it big in the music industry very, very quickly, to the point where he was playing big music festivals. He signed with a record company, and he was going on a big world tour, and he's only 20, 21 years old. So we're going to wait and delve into some of his dark videos and lyrics later with Dr. Rhoades, because I sent you several videos, which are quite disturbing, giving the facts. So at some point, all right, David Burke, and I'll take him down so you can see me. All right, there we go. And I'll make us a little bit bigger here. I'll put a picture of, there is Celeste and the victim. This is very appropriate. So at some point, Burke became involved, according to the allegations now, Burke became involved with Celeste. And of course, they reportedly met on social media. And here's the problem, though. He was an adult, and at the time he was 20 to 21 years old, and she was a minor, okay? The relationship started when she was just 13, and if they're having sexual relations, that's statutory R. However, the police became involved somehow, and there was an investigation into SA allegations. Now, Celeste then vanished, okay, in April of 2025 after going to a mansion that Burke had rented in the Hollywood Hills area. After police discovered Celeste's body last September in the Tesla, there was a long investigation by the LAPD and the district attorney's office lasting months. Then, of course, this is where I put my legal hat on. They ended up convening a secret investigative grand jury. Now, this grand jury has significant investigative powers. They can compel witnesses to testify, subpoena documents, evidence. They can even question witnesses. However, one thing to note legally is this type of grand jury can't return indictments. Some of the witnesses who were compelled to testify were Burke's own family members, and of course they fought it, and then Neil Langston, who is a member of Burke's entourage. Yes, he was big enough that he actually had an entourage. The guy, Neil Langston, in fact, was attempting to avoid the grand jury subpoena, and they arrested him in Montana and made him appear before the grand jury. Now, we don't know what he said, what he testified to, or what any of the other witnesses testified to, because it's secret. So even Burke himself and his defense attorneys, they do not know either. But ultimately, David Burke was arrested by the LAPD last Thursday at a residence in Hollywood. He was arraigned, and the criminal complaint alleges special circumstances, which include, it's just terrible, that he lying in wait, killing for financial gain, and ending a witness's life, and that witness was Celeste. Those enhancements are important because they open the door for the harshest penalties possible, life without parole or the death penalty. But in California, there is a moratorium on the death penalty, so that will most likely happen. But still, these are very, very serious charges, and it's very disturbing to read the complaint. Now, prosecutors allege the motive: Burke killed Celeste Rivas Hernandez after she threatened to expose an alleged sexual relationship, which began when she was 13 years old, and of course, he was an adult. Now, at the arraignment, Burke entered a not guilty plea, and he's represented by attorneys Blair Burke, Marilyn Bednarski, and Regina Peter, who claim he's completely innocent, and his family is also standing behind him. So that's what's gone on so far. Coming up next in court is a preliminary hearing where a judge will hear testimony and examine evidence to determine whether there's probable cause for these charges. In the meantime, what is the defense going to do? I know I watched the arraignment, and the defense counsel requested discovery, which they really have none. And in my opinion, we'll wait and see, but I think their legal strategy will be to scrutinize the chain of custody for that Tesla, how it ended up at the tow yard, who had access to the vehicle between the time that Celeste disappeared and the time workers reported the foul odor. So I've asked Dr. Rhoades to weigh in on this case from a psychological perspective. And I again, thank you so much for joining me on the show. I really appreciate it. So let's take this picture down and start talking.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. And I'm going to make us bigger. So 1 second. Bear with me, everybody. And here we go. See,
There we
not
go.
bad
Yeah.
at technology.
There you go. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you. So from the start, what are your thoughts on this case as a whole? From
Um, I think the environment that this is all going on is part of the issue. You know, that there is an environment of a lack of accountability. Okay. So when people are quote unquote successful or productive making money, they seem to slide on the element of accountability. And especially if they have any element of sociopathy, oh, buddy. Now it's not why, but why not? The risk is minimal and the payout is much greater. So
Okay.
and certainly for him and his family and his life, certainly this is not going to be when it's all said and done a deficit for his career.
What do you mean by that?
Because what he does, what he gets money from, what's happened will feed that narrative.
Oh, of course. Of course, but what if he's in jail for the rest of his life? How's he going to
Well,
produce music from jail? Maybe.
well, that's a chance. I mean, again, it's making that evaluation, not why,
Right.
but why not? If how hard is it going to be to convict him and get him into jail? And if he beats it, then he's out, and it makes him more money. So he's evaluate his
Oh, yeah.
his system would evaluate that.
Right. And of
And
course,
I'm sorry.
I'd never even heard of him, and so I went online and found his videos. So I'm somebody that went online to listen to his songs just because of this. So that makes me culpable too. And then I sent them to you. But you're absolutely right. If he beats this, and he has a great team. And I have to say one quick thing about the case that struck me from the very beginning, and I'm talking last September when it first broke.
Right.
If I'm going to commit a murder, okay, oops, I'm not supposed to say that word. If I'm supposed to commit YouTube doesn't like that word, so I have to remember.
Understandable.
Yeah. So, but if I'm going to do that, I wouldn't put the body in the trunk of the car, right, that's registered to me, and then leave it in the streets for weeks, and then it gets towed. Somebody's going to find it. Why? So that made me, as an attorney, wonder, okay, was somebody trying to set him up? So I think the car and the chain of custody, as I mentioned,
It's huge. That's
important.
huge. And see,
Yeah,
it's deniability. See, and being able to point the finger, creating a environment of doubt is all they've got to do.
yeah,
Okay. And if they do not have a strong chain of custody, boom, it's going to be hard to convict him. And see, one of the things you're doing is you're evaluating every move. I would pretty much say that crowd doesn't do it. They're not
right,
evaluating. It's not a what if, it's a why not. It's a crime of opportunity of, well, here this shows up where you go, you, in your environment, man, I'm not aiming anybody.
right.
Oh, well, but what if you grew up in an environment which people, hey, ma'am, just don't get caught?
Yeah, I mean, he grew up it seems to me that he grew up in a pretty decent environment. He had a family.
Yeah.
His parents had good jobs. I mean, his father worked for a big criminal defense firm, so he had a decent job. So it's not like he was born, went through the foster care system and all that, and had a really
Right,
troubled
right,
child.
right.
But here's one thing that I wonder about, and I know a lot of people online are wondering about. I'm sure stuff will come out, but at one point the family moved from New York, and he was homeschooled. He was pulled out of school and homeschooled. I don't know if that tells us anything. Was he having problems in school? Was there an issue? I I tried to look up to see if there was any history of mental illness, and I couldn't find anything because that could be something. And we know he was playing Fortnite when he developed his musical career. That's what it was for. So here he was playing video games, but that
Wait a minute,
doesn't.
wait
A
a minute,
lot
wait
of
a minute,
people.
wait a minute, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
I know. A lot of people do.
I'm doing Fortnite with other people doing
Yeah,
Fortnite, and we are
yeah.
not talking about the intellectual elite on Fortnite.
But I don't know. A lot
Okay,
of there's a
I,
lot of people that play it, believe it or not, that are pretty had pretty
right,
successful
but
careers. I
okay.
don't play it.
So let's say if I'm smart enough and I'm doing Fortnite, and somebody says, "Have you got a pretty good voice? Have you ever thought about?" And I have no direction. I'm just going along. I don't have any street cred. I'm not real good at relating to people, but these people are clapping for me moving in that direction.
Yes.
Seeking, how powerful is seeking approval?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So
Huge.
now he's in a place where he's a stranger, he's an outcast, even though he grows up in nice and they're nice people and they're behaving. Uh, where's his life going?
Right.
Who, where is, how important is human connection? How important is human approval?
Right.
Oh, now he gets people, and now he's got a group of people that says, not why, but why not? And hey, I know people. I got people, and I know people, and my people know people. And so he's like, well, I'm sitting in my room in my house anyway. Not why, but why not? Let me dip in there and see what happens. And he does, and it works.
Yep. He had a big following, and
Yeah,
actually, and he had an entourage. I can picture the whole entourage of people. And let me ask you this. He was also only, 21 years old, and all of a sudden he goes from, somebody behind his computer playing video games to a star. Can you weigh in on that?
right. Well, go to neurology and brain development. Wait a minute. Where's people's brains in the late teens? Into one of the things they tell you is don't ever get married in your 20s.
Yep.
because whoever you're going to marry isn't going to be there once you move to the 30s.
You're
And they
probably
have
right.
I read a statistic the other day that said if people wait one day after they're 30, they have a 1/3 better chance of having a successful marriage.
Oh my gosh. I did
And
not
that's
know that.
because the brain is developing. People are morphing into, kind of a worm to a butterfly. And butterfly shows up at 30.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
so here he is, and he's trying to figure out what kind of butterfly he's going to be. And he's not being directed into this, or if he is being directed, he's not taking direction.
Right.
Who then is his God? And that's Fortnite.
Yep.
And it's his friends.
Yep.
Oh, wait a
Yep.
minute. And then, I'd love to say that the magna cum laude of Fortnite and that they're all, you know, top scholars. I've not found that to be true. And especially in the area he's at, what group is being involved in Fortnite? What is their emotional level? What's their age?
Right.
Where and even at their best, their brain's developing. So they have a developing brain. The people they're talking to is having a developing brain. So you have to ask, I wonder how influenceable they are.
And then mental illness. I mean, when does mental illness come into play usually?
The
Around that
the
age.
day you're born.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it can come in at any time, and it's just it is not a pinpointable time. I mean, people have a guesstimation, but it can show up at any
Yeah.
time. And so, could he go into his 20s coming across wonderful and then become schizophrenic by the time he's 30? Yeah. Does
Yeah.
that happen? Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
all over America? You bet. That happens. That's a reality that's sad, And he could have had wonderful parents and gone to the right schools and done the right thing and been the star athlete.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden it hits, and all of a sudden it's like a light switch, just changes.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so,
Yeah, we don't have any evidence of that so far, but let's talk about the complaint and the allegations of oh my gosh, he also, whoever did this, whether it was him or someone else, uh, cut the limbs off of this poor young beautiful woman,
wait,
and it
wait,
looked,
wait. That's horrific.
yeah.
I wonder what the level of horrificness is in the area it happened in.
What you
This
mean in
this is
LA?
this is not right. Well, I wasn't going to pin that out, but I'm going to say, we're not talking about Kansas City,
Well, wait a
although there's
minute.
bad.
I have to say though, in Cohasset, which is the beautiful town in
Oh,
Massachusetts,
that's a hamlet. That's a That's not a town. That's a hamlet.
the hamlet of Cohasset.
Yeah, there we go. There we
There we
go. Yeah.
go. Talk about that. Look at the Brian Walsh case where Brian dismembered his wife. Something happened in the house. It looks like, well, he was convicted of killing her, and then he dismembered her body and put her in trash bags and got rid of her, probably in a dumpster, and it was incinerated. So that was really in one of the most beautiful
Yeah.
towns you've ever
But wait a
seen.
minute.
So it
Wait a
can
minute.
happen anywhere.
I'm gonna throw a word at you.
Okay.
Is the thing you're talking about normal in Cohasset, a small hamlet in Massachusetts,
Well,
or
I
was
hope.
it a one-off?
As far as I know, it was a one-off, but I don't know,
Thank
is it
you, thank
normal
you. And if you
in
talk
LA?
to the people there, they would tell you, like, can't believe this. It happened
Right.
here. They're amazed. But if we took him and we transferred him to a different area, a metro, many things going on, many crimes going on, would anybody raise an eyebrow? How bad does it have to be to get people's attention?
Well, you're right. And as far as, a missing girl goes, so there's so many missing, like Celeste, there's so many missing girls and missing women. across the country. But I think this case did explode, to your point, because he was a famous musician, and he had a big following. So therefore, when they found, the LAPD saw that this was his Tesla that contained a severed body, badly decomposed body, then I think that's why the investigation went on so long, from last September until he was just arraigned last week.
Right. And
So,
what you're also talking about is a thing called connectability. Okay. The minute it's a sad, gruesome murder case, but when you bring in a prominent performer, oh my, and connected in some way, oh my goodness, the temperature goes way up to move in that direction.
yeah, definitely. What do you make of some of the did you get a chance to open some of the videos that I sent?
Yes, I saw that. And again, what the immediate struck me about watching all that was lack of accountability. It's not that you can't do stuff. I mean, can people in nowhere America mutilate people? Yeah, but will they? And the answer is no. They have consequential thinking. They're thinking not worth it.
Right.
But
Right.
here we have somebody who has the means and the connections to create reasonable doubt. And so it's like, excuse me, and what kind of people did he run with as that performer?
Right. And the defense is going to be all into that. And what I think going here is the reason that the LA District Attorney's Office had the investigative grand jury. So there's two types of grand juries. One does an investigation where they can't indict someone, and the other is the one, where they ultimately come up with an indictment. So this was pure investigation. And I think that in many cases, these witnesses didn't want to come forward, part of the entourage, people in the know. So I'd like to know, over the last how many months since September, what kind of pressure was put on these witnesses, who are also probably young, just like David Burke, and saying, okay, you can be an accessory to this crime, you can be stuck on, we can get you on conspiracy charges, but we'll give you immunity. So that's all going to play out.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, for sure in this case. But the whole thing is, it's one thing to get rid of a witness. So obviously, it appears to me, according to the complaint, again, in the allegations, this guy could be innocent. But it appears to me that somebody told the police that she was underage. Celeste was underage. She was only 13/14 at the time. And that she, was having this relationship with
Right.
an older man, an adult. So obviously, it seems to me that it got back to him or somebody in the entourage, and they had to take care of the problem. So, but what strikes me is there's various ways to take care of a problem, but the idea of, it looked like she was stabbed multiple times, according to the autopsy report, with a sharp instrument.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did a guy named OJ live in that area?
He did.
Oh, wait a minute. And was he acquitted?
Yep.
So, yeah. See, there's a place, there's a connectability. There's people around. There's ways people are living that I believe in that area is normalized. And so, what I think will come up is the three monkeys: see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. I think that's what's going to happen. That whoever can say they're underage will say they're underage and stay away from it, and the others will say, "Man, I don't know. Yeah, we were partying." Well, wait a minute. We're in L.A. We're higher than a $3 kite,
Yep.
and we're in the music business. And some young girl gets killed. Wow. A girl killed in LA. Now that's news. No, that's normal.
Yeah.
But a girl killed by someone who does videos about morbid subjects, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that comes under the umbrella of newsworthy. Oh, is this
Yes.
newsworthy? And just like you sought it out.
I did. I did.
And once you
Yeah.
showed me, I sought it out. I thought,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this cannot be. And then I begin to look and I say, is whatever's going, is it, if you're not in that area, is it incredibly horrific? And the answer is yes. But the closer you get to that area, the less horrific it becomes.
Mm.
And I would wonder that crowd, the entourage, I wonder how horrific that information was.
I think they were all real scared, and it sounds
Yeah,
to me,
yeah, they
yeah, I
might
mean,
be implicated. There's yeah,
yeah.
there. But
And,
but a girl getting killed and put in a Tesla, I guarantee you the whole crowd, I don't know.
hmm,
And if you have people chemically adjusted, how would they?
mm-hmm.
See, they can have reasonable deniability.
Yep. So it's
Wow.
possible then you think, I mean, again, we're looking at all different possible
Right, right,
scenarios
right.
that you're saying maybe it's possible that the perpetrator was, whether it was Burke or one of his entourage, was so high that they stabbed this girl and put her in the trunk. I mean, it seems really dumb to put a dead body in your own
Yeah.
trunk.
Wait a minute.
A
You're
stupid
not
criminal.
you're not now moving to logic with a bunch of high people in the
Right.
music business in LA. Oh my goodness. They wouldn't know logic if it came up and bit them.
Yeah.
No, at that point they're not. No, they're living life. They have non-consequential thinking. There's no consequence. If I think it and I do it, so be it. And the money that I'll make, even if it's brought up, will supersede their ability to convict me. Any of us.
And do you think there was any, so once whoever it is, the
Right.
entourage and Burke
Right.
realized that, oh, I might get caught. Do you think, let me ask you this, and it's from a psychological level, do you
Mhm.
think that the perpetrators would have any empathy after the fact, or do you think they're more worried about getting caught?
I don't know that they could spell empathy. That'd be the first thing I'd say about that. Would they have empathy? No, no. I would find it hard to believe that there was any element of logic in whatever. And I
Right,
think that because of that, it's going to create an atmosphere of doubt. Was it him? Was it this person? Was it that person? What did he have any enemies? Was there somebody that was jealous of his career? See, I believe all that will begin to fade if it gets anywhere close. That's what you're going to see,
right.
and that it's going to be hard. See, I mean, they're connecting his career moves to this crime. And
Right.
and I love where you said the chain of command. There is at, I believe, the tip of the spear. The tip of the
Mm-hmm.
spear of this case is the chain.
Yeah.
If they can keep the chain strong and boy, they're good go at it. Now we've got a case. But I
Right.
believe anytime he's got the money and the background to be able to create reasonable doubt.
Yeah, definitely. And his dad was involved, is part of a big defense law firm. So
Oh.
yeah, so
And wait a
therefore,
minute, wait a minute. Now let's think. I got a dad who's in the law field. I'm high and in the music field in LA.
yep.
Do I think that I'm 10 feet tall and bulletproof?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
definitely.
whatever. And now, hey, let's take that. Let's put kerosene on an open fire. Let's get real high. Let's be with
Mm-hmm.
underage people
Mm-hmm.
and see what falls out.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it's a hugely dangerous environment. And I guess the thing I think of it as a person in the mental health field, I just wonder how many times it happens and we never hear about it because there's nobody of consequence that's being charged.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
I, and
100%.
and where in Cohasset, one thing happens. Ooh, wait, man, this is a crazy thing. In
It
LA, it's
makes, yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
well, that's number 47.
Yeah, it makes national news. And,
Yeah.
this one, of course, the second they found out, oh, it's a rising music star, I think that's why the investigation went on for so long. And many people have been critical of the investigation for taking so long. But
Mm.
I'd say behind the scenes, having worked with the police on big investigations, they don't want to look bad either. So they want to
Yeah,
make sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't I think that what we're expecting from the police force is to find a needle in a haystack. And
Okay.
I think that because he did what he did and the subject matter he dealt with in his video was a connectable thing to the crime, they ran with it.
Well, talk about that. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think that a police force have found that making stuff up usually comes back to bite them.
Yep.
And so I would say in the last 20 years, the police force is more about crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
Oh God, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Since since OJ,
oh, wait a
they've come
minute.
a long
And
way.
I love OJ, man. They cross the T's and dot the I's, and the jury said we don't care.
Yeah, that was jury
We
nullification for
like we
sure.
like we like that guy. He can't be guilty.
Yeah,
Man, boy, that was a
yeah,
great moment. That was a great moment in justice. Yeah,
yeah.
no. And so people, with the onset of iPhones
Mm-hmm.
and the level I heard this the other day that America is graduating more lawyers than the entire population of Japan.
No way. Well, where'd
That
you?
that's what I
I think
heard.
that's fake news.
That's think of how many. Wait a minute. Think of how many colleges are graduating lawyers, and
It's
how
true.
many and what is the level of saturation?
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. It's especially in this job market, it's going to be tough and AI. AI can do a lot of research, so I think it's going to be tough for
Wow.
these lawyers. Yeah.
Right. So hey, here if we got something, let's jump on it.
Yeah.
You know, let's all run to that and do that. And so now a police force could say something and do something, and the majority of people, all the people were involved in it was probably in the city limits of whatever city it was. And
Mm-hmm.
now the whole nation knows.
Yep.
And you've got
Well,
these
yeah.
lawyers that don't have anything to do who know how to investigate things.
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
Well, it's so the big difference too between this era and the OJ era, for example, is, you can't go anywhere without a camera attached to a building. His Tesla is going to have a computer system, so they're going to be able to look at the diagnostics on that.
Oh, wait,
His
wait, wait,
cell
wait. Let's
phone.
bring up the big one. Oh, the onset of CSI.
Absolutely.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness. So now we're talking. I guarantee you the at the level this moves, the big issue will be DNA.
Yep. DNA will be a big issue. I agree
Wow,
with
we
you.
got this guy stabbing 4 college kids to death,
Yep.
driving to Pennsylvania,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't arrest him, they're following him.
Yeah, Koberger. Yep.
And how do they get him?
Yeah.
DNA.
DNA. Yeah,
And it's not
ultimately,
like
yeah.
regular DNA, it's generational DNA. That's
Mm-hmm.
somebody in his line of generation, they connect him, boom, and now he's in prison for the rest of his life.
Yeah, where he
That's
belongs.
right.
Yep.
And but that shows you the legal system now, and
Yeah.
the criminal stuff that and the level of sophistication that must go on. And I guarantee you this was easy to connect. I think it's going to be it will have to be scientifically convicting.
Yeah, and we'll also see how good these defense attorneys are. For example, I'm surprised he didn't hire Alan Jackson from the Karen Reed case. You know, somebody like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I was surprised, but
Well, and I'm sure his father said, "We can handle it. We got this handled, son. Sit
mm-hmm,
down, shut up, and we'll
mm-hmm.
handle it."
Yeah,
And he's gonna play the role of obedient son, and until the profit of making noise will draw him out. But that'll be it. Will be it. But there was the connectability. That's the
yeah,
influence. That's the involvement.
mm-hmm,
This is a big deal. This is not just some guy cutting up somebody underage and a gruesome crime. Uh, this is celebrity level crime.
yeah. It is celebrity level. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yep.
and uh, also I hope it shoots a flare about the issue of accountability. It's
Yes.
not could you do yeah, there was a time when way back in the day it was okay to make a snuff film
Oh
of
yeah.
filming of killing people. Well, you don't hear that much today, and the reason
No.
would be, oh, well, what keeps people from doing that? Because we've got the technology to track it.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
YouTube,
so
for example, you can't use certain words, which we've
oh,
used already. So we'll probably this
yeah,
video and me and you will be banned. But
there.
yeah, it's so true, which is a good thing. But then go back to what you must talk about this a lot as well. Is how has the world of social media and the video games, how has that impacted the generation that David Burke was a part of?
Okay, here is the thing I heard the other day. This may be hearsay too, but I loved it. We have the first generation in America that is stupider than the last generation. That every generation since the beginning of America got smarter, got better, did stuff, grew, developed until this one.
Oh, geez. Now
That's
I'm gonna have no younger. I'm not gonna have one younger audience person, but my daughter's gonna be mad too.
well, I mean, it's because
Yeah,
people think if I see it on the screen, my brain will absorb it. And what they're finding is that doesn't happen. There's a disconnect between what they're learning, what they're seeing, or being entertained by on the screen versus how much they're absorbing it. And we, throughout the development of America, we're set up in an absorbing environment, giving education, putting it in an environment where they could absorb it, develop it, and move forward.
hmm.
Until now, they get
Until
it.
until now.
It like a,
Hmm.
a week later. What'd you see? I don't know. What
Yeah,
was that about? I don't know.
that sounds
You
like
know.
me.
Well, that's what it does, and
Yeah.
there's kind of they're really gonna. I don't think right now we're but at the tip of the spear of the influence of the media, of iPhones and all that. It's just changed the world so much.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I know that I think it was California, just passed a law or a rule or something that is limiting the use of iPads and iPhones for in elementary schools. So they're not
Wait,
allowed
wait a minute,
to,
wait a minute, wait a minute. What, wait a minute. What do you think the percentage of involvement in proper school that LA is division is in? I bet it's incredibly low. It's incredibly low. Okay, for the 5% that actually is going to school, we're going to limit their screen time. While somebody over here who is playing Fortnite and being a celebrity is making the money. Huh. Okay, I can sit in class and feeling like I'm stuck, and I've got a government that then is going to tell me to do and not do something. Or I can
Yep.
go out here. I don't have any rules. I can do whatever I want as long as I got the money. I can go. Wow, I think it's tough. I would
Yeah.
hate to be a child. I'd just say that straight up. Hate to be a child right now.
Yeah. So what do you think parents should do raising young children? What's your advice to them now that we're on the topic?
Okay, homeschool.
Oh, that's what David Burke was homeschooled.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, well, look what
there's,
happened to him.
right. And again, let me ask you a question. Do you know anybody who's ever been kind of pregnant?
No.
Right. That's homeschooling. Okay. If I homeschool, in other words, I have a system, I'm homeschooling, but then I don't really look at where he's going, what he's doing, what he's consuming, who he's interacting with, then I would say, what good is homeschooling?
I think the problem I see with homeschooling as a mom of three is I feel that it would take away some of the social aspects of going to school and growing up. I
Yes.
think parents still need to be aware of what their kids are doing, screen time and
Okay.
all that. I mean, for the
Right,
most
right.
part,
So
if you can.
right. I mean, we're past the send your child to school prison schooling system. That's what it used to be. And you put them over there and they shut the gates and you stayed there and you knew that they were going to be socialized and educated at the same time. Yeah, we're way past that. And so you've got to look at he's homeschooled, but then look at his downtime. And could it possibly have been more influential than the influence of homeschool? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, but then I also think that if, let's say, really don't know whether he did it or not. It looks like he did. I do believe in innocent until proven guilty.
Right. Yeah.
I
Totally.
do believe in that concept, but you know what? If you look at some of those videos, and of course, listen, I'm also a writer of fiction,
Yeah.
so I
There you
mean,
go.
I've had murder, I have
Wait,
murdered in
wait a
my,
minute.
I
Wait a minute.
shouldn't say
Wait a
the
minute.
word.
You're a writer of fiction. Let's now make you black and in the 20s in LA. You still have the same skill set, but that's the location you're in. What would you do with that gift?
So
Oh, wait a
here's,
minute. There's only one word. It's called rap. I would rap.
no, I don't know if I agree with that. I think, I think
Okay.
some people
Because
go
there's
down
so
and rap.
many uh, prolific deep writers in the LA area in the music industry. I've just noticed it as I've been around musicians that they're really deep literary people.
Oh, some of them
Really?
are. I truly believe that. Yeah, no, I
Oh,
do.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so I'd say we can agree to disagree on this one, but
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and I just I think we're going to really move into nature versus nurture in this,
okay,
and
okay,
I think that I believe that the power of nurturing
yep,
and
I
that
agree.
if he would have been structurally homeschooled, would he number one be intelligent? Yeah, well read, yes, and disciplined, totally. If he's with an attorney raised by an attorney, then no, would he be drawn to the environment that he's now in? And I'm thinking, no.
Hmm. I think
See
for
that?
anybody, so the thing is, I think that for any young person,
Uh
even if
huh.
you're raised, let's say we're you're raised, in a structured family
Right.
with all the bells and whistles, okay? I think that if you suddenly achieve fame beyond your
Wait.
imagination.
And also, we're going to say the chemistry of your body is okay. See,
Oh
I can
yeah,
be
so that's a
raised in
big
anybody,
issue.
but if the chemistry goes off, it doesn't make any difference who raised me and how they raised me.
True,
That will have
true.
no effect. I'm off the board then when I'm mentally ill.
Yeah, if there was
Yeah.
mental illness, absolutely. So
Right.
that's
So
switching the switch.
yeah,
So yeah,
That's right. So I'm in this saying I am not driven that we have, if it is this man, which we don't know,
right.
do I get a sense of mental illness in the process? And the answer is no.
So far, so looking at those videos, so I apologize to my audience in that I really can't. I don't think I can play the videos. They are,
Good.
yeah, I know they're quite disturbing,
Yes, they are very disturbing. Very
and
disturbing.
one in particular that was, from what I saw, released a year ago. Romantic Homicide, the song that got him famous. Now that also has some lyrics which are very, not good. So that
Disturbing.
that was very
Words
disturbing. Thank
disturbing.
you. Like,
They're
wanting to
disturbing.
M someone
Yes.
and all that. That and the if you go online and you watch the video for Romantic Homicide, I also noticed that the young girl in that video looked a lot like Celeste. So to me, that was haunting and very eerie. But
Okay,
the other,
wait a minute. What if you're jealous of him and seeking revenge?
yeah, you could set him up.
Oh, and now he's got it on tape. This doesn't take an Einstein to say, well, all we got to do is do this and trunk it in the trunk and get and let it percolate, and we
Yeah.
got him.
Yeah, and what you're referring to is the second video that I sent you was also disturbing, and it was only produced a year ago, but it also showed him, David Burke, the singer, in a white shirt with, what appeared to be blood all over it, and he's dragging this person, which, across, who appears to be, DEAD, and then he puts that person in the trunk of a car. Now, that to me is a lot of people are talking about that online, that, oh, this, music, what is it? Art simulates, what happened in real life here. But you're right. It could,
Wait a minute.
the defense
Only if
attorney's
you
going to say
live
it was
in
a
that
setup.
environment.
I don't know. I mean, I
Wait a
thought
minute.
about it right away.
Because every day in Cohasset, Hamlet, people are cutting people up and dragging and leaving them in Teslas. Oh, that's an everyday thing in Cohasset or Greenville or wherever. No, that's weird. That's
Right.
something's wrong. Whoever did that, it's not healthy. They are
Right.
disturbed people. Whoever
Right.
did.
So
Now,
so you're basically saying whoever created that video and wrote that song is disturbed on some level? Do you think?
either that or very savvy to the market.
Okay. And what do you
You
mean by
know that.
that? Like just
Well,
plain to the market?
because being provocative has a certain element of marketability,
Right.
and that people throughout the music industry have made millions, if not billions of dollars, doing things at the time that were provocative.
Correct. I agree. And
And
that's
so
what the
this is
defense
just
attorney is
up in
going
the
to argue.
game. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So the defense is certainly going to argue that, and there's no way, in my legal opinion, that the court will ever allow any of his videos or song lyrics to come into evidence because, first of all, the songs, the one video that was made a year ago, that's very disturbing. I mean, that's close enough in time, but you've got the First Amendment and artistic expression. That's what the defense is going to argue. So
Oh man.
that will not come in for state of mind evidence, I don't think. But as a person, like, as we're just talking about it, it's to me, it's quite disturbing. But on the flip side, I wouldn't it would be perfect for somebody to set this guy up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't take a brain
Perfect.
surgeon to say, "Hey,
No.
if I could make, if I'm ready to go, if I can figure a way to bring him down, and I'm ready to go when he goes down, and he becomes a prisoner, and I become a millionaire." Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you
and
never know.
yeah, and there is the draw of the situation right
Mm-hmm.
there. There is the crux. Why people are drawn to it, you don't know.
Right.
And it's in that the speculation has a titillating effect on people,
Exactly.
and it
Just like the
draws them to it.
yeah, just like that Karen Reed case, which we had in Massachusetts.
Oh, I love that. That was
Oh my
great,
God, there
man.
were two sides to the story. So,
Yeah.
and people like to, well, people enjoy unraveling a mystery. That's why
Oh,
people like to read mysteries. So,
exactly, exactly. And who does not want to be Sherlock Holmes?
right, exactly,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
why Conan Doyle sold millions of copies of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been there long before this came up. But this is, I think, a statement on the environment and that industry that
Okay.
greatly psychologically disturbs me.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
what happens when you have to do this to create marketability?
Yeah.
That is the disturbing to me psychological element of this. That for whatever the motive was, either that I was high and I did it, I thought I was going to get caught, so I did it. I didn't. I had revenge on my dime, but I did it. Whatever angle you're going from, it's so evil.
It is. And
And
that's why I always go back to the poor victim and her family. I mean, the poor girl was 13, then 13 when she got involved with him allegedly, and then 14. And again, talk about somebody who is just finding their way in the world. And
yeah,
she was a
yes,
runaway too. She ran away from home, so I imagine the family's devastated, obviously, but sometimes it's tough. It's tough raising children in this environment, and kids can run away. Kids can get caught up in the wrong crowd, and I think that's what happened here.
right,
Beautiful little
right. And
girl.
50 years ago, that was sad, but not a big deal. This is a great big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and is the environment complicit in this situation? And I'm saying yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there is an accountability certainly for whoever did it, and I think there's an accountability for whoever made the videos. There's an accountability for an environment where it could happen.
Yeah.
And
And that's a great way, I think, to end the show. And I hope that people will send comments in. This will live on my channel, the Margaret
yeah.
McLean Show, and of course, everybody, please subscribe, and we will be following this. And I'd love to have you back
Oh,
on,
you bet,
Dr.
because
Rhoades.
the dog has grabbed the scent.
Yes,
Let's follow the dog.
let's follow it. So we will be following this. It's very, very sad and disturbing case,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
awful.
and I think the closer you get, the clearer such a disturbing situation will become to people. That's the invite into the chase.
Oh yeah,
That you, by coming in and listening to you and watching this case, I believe the viewer will gain clarity and understanding, but that is not going to be available to someone who's just casually hitting it.
yeah. And
Yeah, this
this is a case that strikes a much deeper chord for me anyway. It's
as it
just,
should, as it should.
yeah,
If
yeah.
it doesn't strike us deeply, Ooh, that's not good.
Isn't that
That is
good?
not good. And
know.
don't forget, we got undeveloped brain, we got runaway, we got drugs, we got oh Lord,
We got a
we got
lot.
a lot of not so good. And
Yeah.
it'll be interesting as you follow that scent, how things are going to look down the road.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
It
And
will be.
anytime you let me know, as long as I'm not working with people, I'm good to go.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rhoades. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll hopefully see you soon in
Yeah,
Cohasset.
yeah, good. I look forward to it.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I got to get my glasses on. And
Uh-oh.
everybody, thank you for watching the stream. So hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, let me end the stream. Can't find my 1 second here. Once again, thank you for watching The Margaret McLean Show.